I've generated 13 million impressions on LinkedIn from my content, and I've made $3.56 million on the platform, and I don't spend any money on ads. And in this video, I'm just going to walk you through a full LinkedIn copywriting course. So this is everything you need to know about writing content on LinkedIn if you want to make money for your business. I'm also going to walk through, I did an analysis, my business partner and I have 54,187 viral LinkedIn posts. And so I'm going to walk you through what are the 5 different post types to actually go viral. I'm also going to share with you how I write on my content calendar. I'm going to walk you through a whole bunch of my clients' posts that have all gone viral as well. I'm also going to show you a behind the scenes of my whole content system and how I actually produce content. And then I've got a whole bunch of like funnels and structures here as well. So I'm going to show you like, as a business owner, like how you can actually write content and then, get leads coming into your business and show you live examples. So like if you want a full breakdown of LinkedIn copywriting and writing content, this is going to be it. I'm just going to share with you everything. I'm hold back nothing. Not that I ever hold back anything, but yeah, I'm going to hold back nothing. And I don't know how long it's going to go for. I'm just going to keep going until I feel like I've given as much value as possible. And below, there's a whole bunch of free resources if you need to do it. And my only ask is if you use this and you get wins, come work with me. It'd be super fun. I've worked with 1,500 founders and I love it. So just to begin with, so we'll go through the 5 different post types that go viral, because like LinkedIn, like any other like social media platform, there's things called like what's called format hacking. So when you go on Instagram and stuff, there's different types of videos and you see those kind of videos all the time, right? And that's called a format. And every single social media platform has formats that actually work. So when you're creating content on that platform, you want to use the formats that actually work. And for LinkedIn, there's 5 post types that actually go viral, right? So the first one is a personal story. So story. This can be work related or non-work related as well. The second one is how to posts, or how I did this thing. The third are what's called listicles. And I'll show you examples of each of these. That's just like a list of things, because human beings, we just love saying, oh, it's number 2, 3, 4, 5. What are they? Number 4 is what's called contrarian. And number 5 are lead magnets. Lead magnets are probably my favorite as well. And so when you're writing content, if you can like try and keep your content with one of these formats, it has a higher likelihood to get more reach and go viral, because as people consume, content on the platform, right? The reason why LinkedIn's different is because when I log into Instagram, as an example, right? If I'm logging in here and then I go to Reels over here, right? I'm expecting when I scroll through the Reels to hear sound. With LinkedIn, it's very different, right? When people log into LinkedIn, they usually do it because they want to feel smart. Maybe they're on the toilet in public and they don't want the person to hear them next to them. And so when you scroll through LinkedIn, it's very, very different on how people consume. There's no video feed anymore. Like video is pretty bad on LinkedIn right now. And I'll just walk you through like all these different post types and structures and what actually works. Because format hacking is like one of the quickest ways you can get content that goes really, really well. So let's look at the first type of post, right? So it's called a personal story. So I'll show you a couple as well, and I'll show you some examples of clients. And actually my brother that had a personal story, one that went well, and he actually booked a meeting with one of Australia's largest banks as well through this, which is crazy. The reason why personal stories are good is because nowadays, like, human beings don't like brands. They like buying from humans. Like, you think about like some of the biggest brands in business, like Alex Hormozy, his $100 million offers book. This book like changed so many people's lives. A lot of the time, most of the time for the better, right? And because of this, Alex Hormozy has like a massive personal brand. So probably if I said, hey, what's Alex Hormozy's company called? Half people wouldn't even know it's called acquisition.com, right? Or acquisition. But that's his website. But you know Alex Hormozy, you know the brand. Think about anyone else, like Richard Branson, one of like the OG brands, right? The Virgin dude. So people now are buying from people. And when you layer in stories and personalities of people, it attracts more people to you. Like there's this kind of fallacy where we're like, oh, I can't post like personal stuff because I won't get leads. But like I'll kind of prove that wrong to you. And so if I look at personal stories here, I'll go to one of my personal stories. I've got a few, right? Okay, where are the personal stories? Let me okay, cool. So this one here, right? I added a few photos. So there's one of me here working right now. There's me saying how much revenue we've collected. Me and my wife at our wedding, right? And so this post is all about saying I'm a high school dropout. I had 25 different jobs. I had a breakdown, had to move home at 26. Society told me I was a loser, and then I kind of like picked myself up. Now this is what I've done, and here's kind of the lesson. It's all taking 100% accountability on your life. What do you think, right? And this post as well, sure, it's not work related, right? But the point is, like, I'm trying to build trust with other human beings. And you build trust through familiarity and value. So if you look at the actual formula for LinkedIn around like how to actually get leads as a business owner, the way it works is it's a three-pronged system. The first one is you want to be creating client attracting content. You want to have conversations or chats with other individuals. And then you want to set up essentially a converting funnel, right? And that's where people give you their name and email, and then you start emailing them, right? The whole point of this, right, of all of this stuff of content is essentially you're not really building a lead system with your personal brand. You're actually building a trust system. That's the whole entire point of social media. And so for you, with content, what it is, it's a way that you can one-to-many build trust with people, and it's automated because, when you produce one piece of content, loads of people can see it. Now, conversations are when you one-to-one chat to someone, but it's manual, right? You have to manually actually talk to someone, you or your team. Conversion funnel is where it's one-to-one automated, right? So that's when you ask to give your name, email, and phone number, automated. Yeah, name, email, and phone number through like a funnel, and then you start emailing the person, and you've received people's emails, right? It's all different ways that you can build trust. And then when we look at building trust with other individuals, right? The whole entire point, like people don't buy from people they know, like, and trust, right? They don't really. And so when we're looking at trust as a spectrum, someone is either, right, they're a complete stranger to you, like they don't know you from bar of soap, they don't trust you, or they're what's called an identity ally, right? An identity ally is like one of my clients who I've helped and they've grown their business and then they tell other people about me. And so there's a spectrum of this, right? And because of this spectrum, the whole entire point is you want to take as many people who are ideal potential clients who are potentially strangers, and you want to get them to trust you more and more and more and get them closer to that identity ally, because the more they trust you, the more they're likely they'll be able to buy you. And the two mechanisms or the two kind of trust building things are, one is familiarity, and then the second one is perceived value. So like, the reason why I'm posting like personal stories like this is because it creates familiarity. So if someone reads this and they're like, oh, I worked at KFC, or I worked at McDonald's, right? Or, I was also a high school dropout, right? Or it took me a long time to find the mold or fit the mold. What happens there? Or I had I went to an Indian wedding as well. It was crazy, right? When people see that, they resonate with this, and it builds a lot of familiarity. And that's why personal content works really well, because you read it and you're like, oh man, Matt does CrossFit as well. I've been doing CrossFit for 10 years. I swear, like for me, closing deals, if I find out someone's a CrossFitter, we are 100% working together. It's like one of the highest indicators of someone closing is when you have close familiarity with them. And that's why posting personal things works very, very well. It bridges the gap. It means you're not a corporate robot. Here's another personal one as well. Super random, right? I just took a photo because I did this new background setup. And so there's me below saying my setup, and this is me from my first YouTube video. And I just said, I spent Sunday at IKEA with my dad, and in 12 hours we fed out a new studio with zero design or video experience. I did it all with AI, pretty wild. So it's just like a nice story. It got like 300 comments and 25,000 impressions, which is like a lot of stuff. And sure, like I might not directly get leads, but the whole entire point of what I want to do is imagine someone's here and imagine they read this and they're like, oh man, Matt spent the whole day with his dad on Sunday building his IKEA studio with IKEA. Man, he seems like a really nice guy. And so what that does, because I'm showing my family and parts about me, that builds trust and familiarity with me. Maybe they didn't get value per se, right? But like a lot of the time, value is found through like familiarity, warmth, or just being funny, right? Like comedians give so much value to people because they allow them to escape. And so personal content is like some of the most powerful stuff with stories weaved into it. And that's why it's like the first viral post type, right? A personal story with some type of a lesson. I'll show you a client of mine as well. Let me pull him up. Travis McAsheron, right? And so I'll show you a couple of client types and their personal. So I had a call with Travis. He runs a really successful business, like multiple 7-figure business, like really great dude, right? The first call I had with him, he was like, "Oh, Matt, I don't know what type of content, what do I post, what content pillars, all that kind of stuff." And I was like, "Travis, like, you've run this business Glide for 22 years. And his average tenure for an employee is 10 years. And I was like, dude, just talk about what you're doing in your business and about your life." And he's like, "Seriously?" I'm like, dude, that's it. That's all you have to do. Just talk about your business and your life. Like, even because someone with this much experience, right? Even if Travis threw out all these viral post types out the window, it doesn't matter, because when you have a lot of experience in life, people want to hear what you've got to say. And so here, he's just talking about parenting, right? Super random, right? Test users, like, he did 300 workouts and didn't get injured, right? Super random, but like actually the most important thing about producing content is just, do you like doing it? Like, do you find it fun? Like for me, creating this video right now, I was like, man, I can't, like I was having my coffee this morning and I was like, I can't wait to record this video. Like the most important thing is, do you have fun? Now these viral post types and stuff like that will help you like get into the groove, because if you do formats that work on LinkedIn, that's more likely to get more likes. And then when you get more likes, you feel a sense of like, okay, this is really working for me. But like really, it's like, do I like talking about it? So Travis is an example, right? Now I'll show you my brother. So my brother just started posting on LinkedIn. You should definitely go follow him. I took this photo of him at our house with my new camera because I was like super proud of that. If I go here and I go scroll down, right? My brother Dan posted a story 3 weeks ago about how when he was 20, we opened up a coffee shop and we were one of Sydney's top rated cafes. 160 likes, right? Photo of coffee we made. That was our cafe. That's him and that's me behind there, right? And we called it Little Box Coffee. We actually named it because my little cousin India, she named it. She called it that when we walked past. She was like, "It looks like a little box." And we're like, "Oh, that's cool." And so he did this post. From that post, someone who works at one of Australia has 4 large banks. One of Australia's largest banks saw the post, liked it, and my brother just reached out to him and said, "Yo, did you see the post like about the coffee thing?" And the guy was like, "Dude, that's so cool. You had a cafe, all this stuff." My brother started talking to him, booked a meeting with him, one of Australia's largest banks, because the guy resonated with the coffee stuff. And so like personal stories like are, if not probably like the most powerful like familiarity building mechanism, because I've had people follow like my journey on LinkedIn and we haven't ever chatted, and after a year they kind of know who you are. And so like familiarity is like one of the best things you can do. That's why, posting things about your life and, do you go to the gym, or do you have a dog or a cat, or like when did you go on holiday, like all these types of things, then people like, it bridges the gap, because if all you talk about is like personal stuff, then people don't really get to know you. And so, but people want to get to know you, and think about your favorite creators. These little idiosyncrasies about their life, and they're purposely dropping them in there all the time. So that's like the first viral post type, which is personal stories. Now, quick segue as well before we get into it. Like when it comes to LinkedIn and posting content as well, the thing that really matters on LinkedIn is, if you look here, like about 70% of people consume LinkedIn from their phone, right? If I look at everything on the post here, what matters the most on LinkedIn is the first 1, 2, 3 lines, and then the visual, right? That's the whole concept, right? So here you're looking at the first 3 lines, meetings booked, and some KFC, because as people just scroll through the feed, you're just looking to capture their attention like really immediately. And so the first 3 lines matter a lot. That's called a hook. And then afterwards, it's called a visual hook. So, and the way that people consume content is you're trying to stop them dead in their tracks as they're aimlessly scrolling. So imagine this is their phone, right? What you want to do, if you can, is imagine this is your post, right? And in the post, there's 3 lines, and then there's the ... more button here. And then if you can create a visual that's this big kind of as well, that then obviously takes up the whole entire phone if you look at it here. So if I look at this post that Alexis did here, when I'm scrolling, I look 30 meetings booked yesterday, 15 more today, some of them while I was sleeping, right? Really great hook. And then KFC here, and then a thing in the background, which is really funny. And the whole entire point of every post is for you to get someone to click the ... more button. Because when I click that, here, it then comes down to, okay, no cold calls, blah, blah, blah. This is what happened, right? And so the whole entire sell that you're trying to do on LinkedIn is you're trying to get people to click that ... more button. So the hook itself needs to be really quite unique, and the visual if you can. You don't have to do a visual as well, but like that's like how to stop people in the feed. Because imagine the way we scroll, right, as humans. Like if I go like this, we're doing these ones. We're just doing this. This is probably how fast we scroll, right? And so I'm like, okay, what's going to stop me? And so there's one of my clients here as well. Yeah, Greg, right? So what's going to stop you there? So it says 99% of business owners are doing LinkedIn wrong, and it's quietly costs them $30,000 a month. But he's just got a photo here of himself, and also it's kind of random, right? But like, it's quite nice because I can scroll through, look at the photos. Even if I don't remember the post, I remember like Greg looks like quite a nice guy. Wow, where did he go to? Like it's creating this stuff because when you have these different points of like familiarity, like different things, like think about all your friends, right? Like you're like, okay, one of my best mate, Andy, right? What I remember about Andy, Andy loved gardening. Super random, right? But he loves gardening. He's also Cuban. He knows so much about his Cuban history. He loves going, we used to go on aimless walks when we used to live together just around Sydney and just walk for a few hours just chatting. It was super fun. But like all these seemingly random things about people that make up the unique individual, that's what sticks in your long-term memory. So you actually know who they are, right? So think about all your friends, then think about how you know who they are. And so that's kind of like the second post type, right? The first post type. Now, when it comes to LinkedIn, obviously we're going through content creation now and copywriting, right? But like ultimately the whole entire goal of your content is to really, number one, push people so they can give you their email and then hopefully want to talk to you, or just get them to straight talk to you. So the whole entire goal of content is to get people to know, like, and trust you and feel like you could be someone reputable so that they then want to actually have a conversation with you, right? And so let's go to the second viral post type now as well. So the second one is called a how-to educational post, like teaching someone how to do something, right? And so let's pull up my how to do something ones. I just realized I didn't pull up any of those, but that's okay. We'll go down to how to listicle ones, right? Okay, so this is a good example. So if I go here and I go open on LinkedIn, right? This tool is called Authored Up. It's my favorite, probably my favorite LinkedIn tool. It's a writing tool. It helps me a lot. So this one here is like a listicle. So how I close this much on WhatsApp, 28% wearing green socks with Zoom slides. Again, I'm throwing in some personal stuff because it's funny and unique and people remember it. And so here's my exact process. And then I say, I DM anyone that does this. I qualify them. I move them here. I do this, this, and this. And so I'm literally teaching people something in like a how I did this thing, right? And so these types of posts themselves are really great because there's a couple ways. It's either how to or how I. Now, I like how I a lot better because in the hook, if you just say how I did this, it adds more authority and it also adds uniqueness because if someone in the LinkedIn feed scrolls past and it says how to get clients on LinkedIn, right? Or how I got 23 clients last month on LinkedIn, what post type, would probably resonate with you more? Probably the one how I got 23 because with copywriting, like specifics do matter and anyone can write how to do this. So let's go to the LinkedIn feed and look at a couple because I just want to show you some examples of good hooks because what matters, right, about a good hook, let's scroll down here, right? ChatGPT 4 is crazy right now, but only generates one image at a time, right? So there's obviously a lead magnet one here as well. So I go Henry as well. I helped my client do this in 5 months and it felt like a content robot. After simplifying, I still burned out. Here's how I fell back in love with it. Cool, that's a pretty good one as well. So like what you're looking for, Isabella, so I replaced my assistant from having to manage my email, which is pretty cool as well. Last month, Cash made this much money with a paid newsletter. Honestly, I followed really good creators, so all of these hooks are pretty good. But like what you want to do within the how I kind of hooks themselves is you're talking about how to do a process. And so when you do like how to do a process, like a really good thing with these posts is if you go how I X result. And so you could even say, how I booked my first ever appointment on LinkedIn or whatever it is. Or if you're a mortgage broker, how I got how I helped my clients borrow $100 million over 3 years, right? That's it. And in the post itself, it's usually like steps, right? So step 1, step 2, step 3. Now, the reason people like steps is it's just really simple and it makes them really curious on what's actually going to happen. So you can say how I got this or how this company got this. The how I posts are really, really good. That's the second kind of viral post type. I think I need some coffee because I feel like I'm slowing down. But again, this is it's like educational. Like you're helping someone actually do something, right? And so if you're a professional in any means, like you could write how to write content on LinkedIn. Or let's say if you're a personal trainer, how I helped 50 CEOs all lose 10 kilos and still be able to eat an English breakfast, right? That's a hook that's like really interesting. And then you put a photo of an English breakfast. So you're looking at steps on how to do it. And the reason why, like in Hormozy's, I think it's in his $100 million leads book, right? When he talks about organic content, he talks about how each piece of content is a combination of lists, stories, and steps, right? List, stories, and steps, right? Every single piece of content you create is a list, story, and steps, or a mix of them all. And so even this like YouTube video, I started off with kind of a story, and then I went through, but I'm going to show you the list of the 5 viral post types. And now I'm showing you the steps of how to do each one. So every piece of content is an interweave of these things. And so these kind of how-to contents are usually steps of how to get an outcome that you're actually walking through, which is pretty good. Now, the third viral post type is what's called a listicle. Listicle just means a list of things. And so if I go to where's my listicle? All right. So listicles that I like to do personally is because I make so many free LinkedIn training resources. So if I go here, right, I've made like 118 free resources, and we just get people coming in every day saying like, dude, I got this, like someone last week, I think it was, let me go to his post. He messaged me saying, hey, Matt, I booked 68 calls from your free content. I was like, dude, this is crazy. So Nafis, this guy, right? So if you have a look here down the bottom, he's like, yeah, he booked 68 calls. I reached out to him because I saw he booked 68 calls. He's like, yeah, dude, so much of it comes from your Sell by Chat playbook and your YouTube videos. I'm an avid watcher, which he's super stoked with, right? So I think I'd have so much free content. That's what I give away. But there's other types of listicles that I can talk about. But one listicle I like to do is I like to just have a whole bunch of free stuff. And then I just say, here's a list of the free stuff as well. And so 10 new trainings, hit training 1, training 2, training 3 as well, which is pretty cool. And each of these goes through to a landing page and a funnel. We've actually got a product called Growth Mode, which helps you literally build this whole entire funnel setup as well, which I can kind of walk through in a second. But like these types of posts themselves, I've got another one here as well. Here it is. I'm done gatekeeping. Here's these 5 courses. I really, really like these because it's an excuse to give away boatloads of stuff. But like an example, like, you know, when we're talking about listicles, right? It's fun. Don't you reckon listicles is like a funny word? Like listicles, right? But like if you're, you know, in business, right? And so let's say you're I don't know, a mortgage broker, right? You could say 10 reasons people don't get their mortgage put through after I've helped people borrow $100 million from banks in Australia, right? And then you list the 10 things, right? And then human beings were like, oh, what's 1, 2, 3, 4? Like we get really curious naturally. And you could do that if you could do like, you know, let's talk about another random niche, an accountant. Like 5 things I've learned in my 10 years of being an accountant that like literally totally surprised me. Like, and I'm obviously just riffing off hooks off the top of my head, but like it's these unique hooks where it's like what I learned, what I did, mistakes I made. I've wrote posts like, you know, 10 biggest mistakes I've made as an entrepreneur building a $3 million business and helping 1,500 clients, right? Like these are like essentially lists of things that actually happen. Like another really good list post that I made as well. If I go calendar, actually I've got one coming up, right? On how I write my content. And how I write my content in Authored Up, right, is I essentially write it here. So I like Authored Up because I can write my post and I can preview to see what it will look like on LinkedIn and what the ... more button looks like. So this is an example of a list. We wrote 5 books on LinkedIn lead generation. You can get them all for free below. Repost if you find it valuable. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. which one is your favorite story and why? Like, really, really easy. And I like here because when I write the post, right, I can then see on the right and I can add the images and all that kind of stuff. So I think, yeah, Author Up is a brilliant piece of software. Now, let's go to some other classic listicles. I think I posted some in January. Like, because I don't do too many classic listicles. Don't know why, but let me go down here, right? So where's listicle? I swear I had a listicle. Yeah, here we are. Here's an example of a listicle. I have, and so we'll go here. I have 58 this many thousand followers on LinkedIn. These are 30 things I wish I knew when I started. This was New Year's Day when me and my wife went to like a music festival. And so I just wrote a list of all these things. And this is like the classic listicle setup that you can do. And what it does is people want to read like all the dot points. It makes it like really interesting. So yeah, listicles are the third kind of viral post type, and you can talk about anything. And yeah, and so the fourth viral post type is what is called a contrarian, right? Contrarian opinion. These are, if not my favorite posts to write. So all a contrarian opinion is people have a perception of something and you write something that's different and that throws them off guard, that they're like, whoa, I didn't know that, right? So you're giving an opinion that you have about something that's kind of brutal but true and that stops people in their tracks. And so I'll show you a couple of examples of these. Let me just pull it up, right? So here's an example that I wrote. And I like to do these really short, sharp kind of contrarian opinions. 2 types of founders on LinkedIn. Founder 1 blames their niche, the economy, and cries LinkedIn doesn't work. Founder 2 puts on their big kid pants and has conversations every day with other human beings. Which one do you choose? So I'm kind of being brutal, but I'm kind of being contrarian here at the same time. And I found these types of posts get like mixed reactions as well, but like it stops people in their track, right? And remember with content, right? What you're really trying to do is you're trying to build familiarity and value. Now, the reason why like niching works quite well is if you speak to the same person all the time, you can build trust quicker because you can say what they want to hear. That's why the whole entire concept of niching is just how can I more easily communicate to this individual so they believe me, right? So I can build trust faster. That's why you niche. Because if you work with accountants in Newcastle, that's how UK people say it, Newcastle in LinkedIn, and you work with accountants to renovate their offices, to put an indoor garden in there so their employees like coming into the office, right? I don't know if I just made something at random, right? Like if you say you do that, then if that person is looking for that solution to the problem, they're going to automatically think that you can solve the problem, right? It's like how Google AdWords and all that kind of stuff works. You're like for me, is like I want to find a heater to heat my house up, right? And so I'm looking for a specific niche. That's why it works B2C or B2B. But because of that, like through these contrarian opinions, it stops people in their tracks. And if you're someone who's like the only person that they've seen to kind of have this opinion, well, my hair's going crazy, to kind of have this opinion, right? You build a lot of familiarity. So I'm someone that just calls out a lot of the time on LinkedIn that content is just procrastination from you actually speaking to people. And I call it all the time. And some people come back to it and they're like, no, you need content, you need this, or you need this. But it creates like a talking point with people. And some people who like you will kind of like really agree. But even if they don't 100% agree with you, it throws them off guard. And you're trying to throw people off guard, create some type of a surprise so they remember you, because that's the whole point of content, right? So it's obviously to build trust with other individuals, but to build trust, unique things have to pop out to actually cause that trust. Now, I've got another one as well. This one went pretty well. LinkedIn's biggest creators are cheating the system. This is how it works. And then I just talk about the classic thing about how all these larger creators just post this generic fluff content. What they do is they just go down all the viral tropes and they just produce the most viral stuff, but they just don't actually get any leads. Like essentially that's what they do. And so because of that, this is like a really kind of contrarian-ish post. This one here is pretty contrarian. I've posted this so many times. If you have 0 clients, why are you posting on LinkedIn? Your schedule is simple. Monday to Friday, 8 to 5 p.m., DM prospects. No comments, no content, no excuses. The only thing that matters, talking to potential clients, agree, or do you think content comes first? So I'm trying to create a talking point with the other individuals, but I'm kind of being brutal here, but I'm being true. So contrarian opinions are really good for building this trust. And when you do a good contrarian opinion post, you can get a lot of engagement. And for contrarian opinions, I really like a bit of the shorter, sharp text-based ones because they kind of like throw people off. Because in the LinkedIn feed right now, if we get in the feed, let me just get rid of this newsfeed eradicator. Let me go here. Hello. All right. So I'll get rid of this just because I get rid of my newsfeed all the time so I don't get distracted because of it. So if I go here, refresh. Cool. So it's like there's first thing come up, right? But like if we go down here, most of LinkedIn, Chris Ritz, everyone's doing it now. Most of LinkedIn is just like videos and stuff like that. A lot of the time, these text-based posts can kind of just throw people off, especially if they're short, sharp text-based posts. This is quite long. If you do a short, sharp one like this, the chance, like this is 45,000 impressions. This is heaps, right? Which is really, really good. And so it just can throw people off. Now, the last viral post type, probably Contrarian's my favorite to write, but lead magnets are honestly, I've done so many lead magnets. I love them. And it's how we've generated about, in my CRM, if I pull it up, right? So if I go to our CRM instance, this was like 2 weeks ago, I think. I've generated 32,817 inbound leads into my CRM. And a lot of it comes from lead magnet posts. A lead magnet post is when you literally just give something away for free, right? And so I've got all of these lead magnets here, which is all this free stuff. And we've got a system called Growth Mode, which is coming out probably in 2 weeks, which helps you just create all these landing pages like immediately. But essentially, I give things away, I send it to them, and then they just put in their name, email, and phone number, right? And they hit submit, and then they get a free thing to their inbox as well. So like these lead magnet posts are amazing, like so good. And I can kind of show you a few tips and tricks on how to create lead magnets and stuff like that. But let's go through a couple examples and then some client examples as well. So this one I posted 17 hours ago. So I just took a really easy lead magnet post to create is if you have a client that literally got a result, right? So if I go to my internal school community here, school here, and if I go to more and I go to wins, I can just go down here and just look at all my client wins. And so I can just grab this one here. And if I want to do this for David, I could just screenshot this. And all I did was I said, Aaron closed $40,000 using my sell by chat book. Comment book, and I'll send it to you. And then I just said, what happened? Screenshot. That's it. And this post got 371 comments, this many impressions, which is really good. A whole bunch of people comment book. And then what we do is we do essentially a comment thing where I comment back and give them all the actual resource as well, which is really good because when I give them the resource, what it does is it sends them to this type of page where they give me their name, email, and phone number. And then what happens is they end up in our CRM instance where they're getting all of my emails. And so if you go back, if you remember just from before, if we go back to here, if you're producing content and you're not collecting emails, you're wasting a lot of your traffic, right? Like if you were a marketing manager at a company and you had a budget of spending $100,000 on Facebook ads a month, and you spent $100,000 for 3 months, and you didn't give people the ability to put in their name, email, and phone number so the sales team go after the lead, you would be fired. So I don't understand why people don't capture email addresses on LinkedIn, but like that's fine. But because essentially the whole goal of that content is maybe they're not ready to chat to you now, but maybe they essentially want to consume more of your stuff and get your emails as well. And so let me go back to this one. And so these lead magnet style posts, I just love, right? I love them so much. So yeah, really easy example is a client win. Super easy, right? You could even even if you had a client win where you were like, you're a financial planner and you're like, I help my clients consolidate their superannuation funds and they actually end up saving $1,000 a year in fees. If you want the video and how they did it, I recorded it, just comment video and I'll send it to you, right? Anything that you do, the easiest way to create lead magnets is anything you do with clients, just record a Loom video, open up something like Miro or something like this, or even, oh shit, what happened there? Yeah, and just like talk people through what happened. That's it. And just create like a 5-minute video. That's like good enough to actually do something as well. So yeah, these lead magnet posts are amazing, right? We've got a piece of software where we're able to then mass reply to the lead magnet. So if you come to say this lead magnet over here, Let me go. So we'll go to a lead magnet. I think maybe July. It's nearly August. Wow. Okay. So if I go to this one here, right? And I go open on LinkedIn. If I go email leads. Yeah. So we've got a software where what I do is I turn off the comments. And then if I go down here, I can then mass reply and just tag everyone and then give them the resource. It works really, really well. We then have the ability now to then take all of those leads, put them through the CRM and the instance that we have. And then if you go into the instance, let me go down here. What it does is it then tags who are our ideal clients based off the niche. Because usually if, 500 people comment on my lead magnet or just 100 people comment on my post, probably only 10 of them would be ideal clients that we can actually help as well. Everything else I just give away for free. So yeah, lead magnets are amazing. I've got other videos on how to do that as well. Like another type of lead magnet is this one. So another client win. So Mundo, he's my financial planner client. So helped him go from 5 to 25 meetings a month. And it says 15K to 40K a month on LinkedIn. I'm giving away the training how he did it. Just comment Mundo below and you'll get access. So 244 people commented. These are really, really good lead magnets. Now, if you haven't got any crazy client wins or anything like that, that's totally okay. I'll show you a couple examples of lead magnets that you do. Whoa, this is a lot of stuff. Okay, so we go down here. Here's a couple of good ones, right? Actually, let me go up here. So, okay, so a really easy way to produce lead magnets is if you just take something and collate it. So one of my clients, Daniel Paul, he's had a few viral ones. He was just like, he broke down, Justin Welch's LinkedIn strategy. That one got like 1,000 comments, which was really good. Guion's, and he helps founders raise money. He just here's 220 plus investment memos. That went really, really well. Pranjal, he helps e-commerce brands as well. Well, it's a long post. He created a whole bunch of landing pages. Robert Bradley, he created an email tips thing. So you don't actually have to have like crazy results of your clients. Like Josh Lohman broke down Stripe's funnel and he got 10,000 comments. Like there's so many of these like lead magnet ideas and stuff like that. Keenan, he broke down this funnel, hymns, I don't even know what that is. He got 1,600 comments. This one he broke down, he got 8,000 comments, which was pretty crazy, right? It actually went up to 10,000. So, you don't need all this flashy stuff in order to be able to, like, you don't need these crazy client wins because a lot of people they make that excuse to themselves that they actually need it. But like, you just need to like find something and then break it down. If you go below as well, if we go back here, where is it? Okay, cool. Yeah, if you go here as well, like we've written 5 books on LinkedIn. These 1, 2, 3, 4 are available and you can like get them below. If you just go to library.sevenfigurecreators.com, you can get access to like all 4 of them. The lead magnet playbook is a whole entire book showing you how to create lead magnets. And I've helped probably hundreds of people go viral on LinkedIn through lead magnets. And so that is post type number 5. That is the viral post type. Whoa, what's going on the screen? Viral post type content. Now, I'm just going to walk you through my content system and then how it works, because I think this will be pretty valuable people. Because, okay, so this is my whole entire content system. Now, the way I produce content, how I can produce so much content like literally by myself. I'll first list you the amount of content that I create in a week, right? So in a week, I do 12 LinkedIn posts a week. And so I do 2 a day every day, except Tuesday and Thursday when I do lead magnets, I do 1 post, right? And you don't have to do 2 a day. You don't even have to do this much. It's taken me 2.5 years to ramp up to this much. Honestly, if you've never done content, if you do 1 post a week, my brother, which you saw, 1 post a week gets leads, right? So even just doing some good, like quality is better than quantity. The other thing that I do is I send 3 emails a week, right? To prospects, people and I'll show you how to write my emails. I'm trying to do 5 school posts for my internal community every single week. I'm going to start doing also internal marketing emails, 3 marketing emails to our program as well at the same time. And then I also do 2 to 3 YouTube videos a week as well. Let me think, do I do any other content? Let me just go over to the thing and how it works. All right, so let me scroll down. No, that's the amount of content that I'm doing right now. And so because I have this much content that I'm doing, it's a lot, right? You got to come up with a lot of stuff. Now I use AI to help me. I use old posts, but I'll kind of walk you through my system. So with content, right, how you can produce a lot of content is I have a rule. When I produce one piece of content, I actually have to produce 3. That is my rule. So I'm recording this video, right? This video will go on LinkedIn. So this video is going to go on YouTube. This video also I'll send out through email. This video also will go as a lead magnet as well. So like 3 things. YouTube, I'll pop it up on YouTube, say in a week or 2 when you may be watching this through the lead magnet of the YouTube. I'll send it to my email list saying, hey, I just recorded a minute LinkedIn copywriting course. Get access here. And then the last one will be like, I'll post on LinkedIn, hey, I created this lead copywriting course. Do you want it? And so the strategy or the tactic that I do is I record the video, then I'll put it on LinkedIn as a lead magnet. I'll give it as an email. And then afterwards, a couple of weeks later, I'll then just pop it up on YouTube. Literally. And so I've got 1, 2, 3 types of posts. And because this is a really long, good video, I think it'll go quite well. I'll probably post this as a lead magnet probably 3 times. And I'll probably give it to my email list 2 times. So it actually ends up becoming 6 pieces of content. And I'll probably also be able to create, I reckon, I'll be able to create another LinkedIn post from this, just saying, the 5 viral post types, yada, yada, yada. And I'll put like a link in the post that people can get access. So yeah, it'll end up becoming 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 pieces of content for one. That's like the golden rule for creating content. The other golden rules for content as well is 1 is like I do the 1 to 3 rule. 2, do I find it fun? Like no one talks about this. I love this. I love producing content. And so like when I went back to my client Travis, let's say over here, man, I've got so many tabs. I'm just going to get rid of all these tabs so I'm not slow. Zoom. Like if you hate creating content, you won't create content, right? You just won't. But Travis, right? He's like, what content pillars and stuff do I do? I'm like, dude, just post whatever. Like, just post the stuff that you love. So you just go through his content. Like he's such a legend. If you want to use an agency, like he's the average tenure of his staff is 10 years. That's how much of a good boss he is. I've got on the call with him. Like, this is like one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. Like, so yeah, just have a look, leaving your business. Like, he's got a photo of him in Haiti. I hope that I can pronounce that right. 2018. Like such a cool photo. Like they won a best places to work award in 2025. I think Getaway, right? All this stuff, he loves writing about it. He loves talking about his business. He loves talking about people that he's helping. And so like having fun while you're doing it is like so crucial. The other thing is like 1 to 3. And if you're stuck, just use formats and go for quality, right? Formats and quality, that's really good. And there's a whole bunch of other different ways to post content as well at the same time. And so the way I do it right now is like I've got a board. And so on this board, I say, okay, these are all the different pieces. I'm going to move myself to the right here. Oh, shit. Let me make myself bigger. There we are. I'm bigger now. All right. So if I look on the left here, I can see these are all the different types of posts. And so what I like to do is I like to, have different types of posts on each day. I don't 100% stick to this rule. It's just a prompt for me to remember as well. And so these are all the different posts I've got for the week on LinkedIn. I've got YouTube videos, I've got sales emails, and then I've got my posts within our internal school community, right? And so this is like my stuff that I got to create. Now, what I like to do is I like to try and create content like 2 weeks in advance. And so I have slot 1 here and then slot 2. So this is week 1, which is this week. And so I haven't created all of the content for this week. It's Wednesday now. So I've got these things left to go. I've got this YouTube copywriting course and these pieces of content, like I said before, like how this first piece will become like 7 pieces. A lot of it will go into the following weeks as well. There's one other thing I want to share in a second. Actually, let me share it right now. Now, another way to get a lot of juice from your content is honestly just reposting. Like when you don't have ideas, right? Like if I go to calendar, see this post 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 times. Like I post it so many times when you have something that you make that's quite good. If I go here, the LinkedIn Bible, I posted this, I got 10,000 comments. I was like, oh, I'm going to post it the next day and the day after. Literally. Like I post the same stuff. I posted this like 3 times because people miss your content, right? They miss it. I posted Mundo's one twice, the Sell by Chat book. So if you make quality content, even this, I posted this post like 3 times, right? Because like only 1 to 2% of people actually see your content. They never remember it. And even if they do see it twice over 2 months, it's not a bad thing. It's like, and if it was a good post, it's sick. And so if I look here, right, so I've got, okay, cool. These are all my areas. Now I've got an ideas vault of ideas here. I also use ChatGPT. Like I've got a content thing here as well. So whenever I'm like running and stuff, like I usually just pop my idea inside the chat thread and then I can just ask GPT, hey, what are my ideas and stuff? And then I just try to make it stick within those viral post types when I'm actually doing it. And so the whole entire section I've got is like, okay, I'm creating content. This is going to be this YouTube video. So after I create this, I'm then going to write the email for it. I'm then going to create the LinkedIn post for it, like all that type of stuff. And if I go across here, then what I do is I go, okay, cool. If I need someone to review something or I need someone to create something, I've got Harris from my team. A lot of the time he schedules my content as well. So I needed him to produce some extra stuff. Over here, what do I need Harris to do? Yeah, I need him to make a landing page for this one as well at the same time. And then once I've kind of like filled it and it's ready to be posted, I just move it into this filled section over here. And so I just go Saturday, post 2, this is the date. And so if I go to author it up, right? So that one was Saturday, the 2nd of August. So if I go to author it up, I've just got it saved inside here. And so if I go Saturday, the 2nd of August here, right? I've got it here. That's the post. And so it's already done. I've got it set up. This one's a personal story kind of with a lesson saying I messed up a lot in life, but here's the one thing I did right. And so that's kind of saved and structured in there. Now, for my emails, because I get my team members send the emails as well, what I do is I go emails. Cool. And so I just put the emails literally in a doc like this. Super easy. And so these are the 1, 2, 3 emails that I've got going out, right? And different dates. And then for YouTube, I just upload it. A lot of the time for lead magnets, if I record a video and I want my team to post a post on LinkedIn, I just upload the video to Loom here. And so this one here, Harris from my team to add this one to a LinkedIn post that I've got going out. And so he'll just then upload it with the post. And so it's pretty easy, right? And so all you got to do is you just go, let me go back. Where was my thingy? Yep, content. So all I've got to do each week is I've just got to make sure that, okay, I've emptied this whole entire slot thing and I've moved it, and then the whole entire one for the next week. And so when this week ends, all I do is I go, okay, here, copy list, right? And I just go, and I'll go empty week 3. Week 3, right? Create list. And then it will create a list. There we are, empty week 3. And then I can move it here, and then this one will be done, right? And so I can delete that or move it away because there'll be nothing left inside here. And then I've just got this one here as well. So that's pretty much, and so if I wanted to, right now, I could leave this week 3 here, and if I want to start creating 3 weeks in advance. But the reason I've got this is I've got just all the different posts I've got to make. Yeah, and so then when we go back to the rules, right? 1 for 3 is a big rule. Usually I go for like 1 for like 7 or something like that. Having fun, formats and quality. The other big rule you want to live by, I would say number 4, is just repost. Like if one time when I went away, like for 2 weeks, I just reposted old content. No one even knew. Like the problem is we always think we need new, fresh stuff. People don't read all your content and they don't remember it. Like we barely even remember our own content. So if you come over here, right, and I go calendar, like sometimes when I can't think about anything, I just go here and I just go, okay, cool. Like what am I going to post again? And then I just like repost it. And if I feel good. And so, but as long as the thing that matters for me is like, if I've got these slots I've got to fill, I'm just like, okay, cool. I need like a lessons one. Okay, cool. Let's find like a lessons one that I might post. Maybe this one's a good one. Season Dangerous. Okay, cool. I'm going to post that. And like, sure, I can keep within the realms of like, you know, do I want to do a contrarian take or whatever? But sometimes I just like break the rules. And I'm like, whatever. I just want to do this post and get it out there. The main thing is that, you know, if we look at the actual rules themselves, like, you know, are you creating a lot of content from one piece? Are you having fun doing it? Are you doing formats and quality? And then also, are you reposting? I'd probably say rule number 5 though is capturing emails, right? Like I see so many people do this. Like if I look at my content, right? If I go here and I go to if I go analytics, right? And I go, okay, let's go back in time. Let's go back in time to when I started posting. And I was like pretty bad at the start, not going to lie. I was like very bad. So I go from there to now. So in the entire time I've been posting, I've got, let me see, 1,000. I can only do 1,000 posts. I've definitely got more than that many impressions. I think Authored Up just can't do it, right? So I think at the start I had, 13 million impressions. So I go here. Yep. So I go here. If I go if I go 365 days, I might be able to do longer than that actually. How many impressions, right? Yep, 13 million impressions, right? From these 13 million impressions that I have done, right? This has helped me build my email list. Because if I go here and I go here, if I go to my email list, which is just up here, I just don't want to show people's actual data, you know what I mean? Like, I would have not have been able to build this 32,000 person email list. And I'll show you, because of that, then people receive boatloads of my emails. Give me a second, I'll show you the email setup. Cool. So if I look at my emails here, right? These are all the emails, like the sales emails and stuff that I send. Like I send usually 3 a week, right? And there's all different types of emails that I send. It's part of my content. But like if I go here, like once people give me their name, email, and phone number, I then say, hey, I'll send you emails. You can opt out whenever you want. So they're able to opt out. That's fine. But like I'm constantly hitting them up with the inbox here, and I'm constantly giving them stuff. Hey, there's a free thing. If I went on a YouTube video because I'm friends with Alex Hormozy's ex-coach. And then if I go down here, this guy booked 68 calls in a week. Do you want it? Book. And so I'm keeping like this trust alive, because ultimately when you're looking at the whole entire system, right? Let's go back up here. We're looking at, okay, you're producing content to create trust. You want to get their emails, so you give them more free stuff, which is trust, so that they eventually then like have an actual conversation with you. And so that is a 51-minute video of a full LinkedIn copywriting course and my whole entire setup. If you have any other questions below, click. There's a whole bunch of free resources below. And when you get results, just come work with me, and you can just go faster. Pretty much the difference between you consuming free content and you working with someone directly is just speed. That's it. You either pay with your time or you pay with your money. But if you want to work with someone who's an expert, who's coaches many people, just like reach out, go through the funnels, book a call with me as well. We've got some mad software and stuff coming out as well. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace out. Bye.